Hello everyone, I'm Harry Fan. No wait, I'm Captain Harry Fan. I am the captain of the volleyball team in our department, and as the captain, I must understand the situation in our team. In order not to see only woods but not the forest, I interviewed several of my teammates, and today's video is gonna about the situation in the FLLD volleyball team. So, let's get started. The first part of this report is about the basic backgrounds of my interviewees, that is, my teammates. All of my interviewees have played volleyball during their high school life, and the reason why they joined in the department's volleyball team is because that, you guess it, they all enjoy playing volleyball. All of them have been in the volleyball team for at least 2 years. Next part is the pros and cons of the volleyball team. Efficiency, as one of my interviewees stated, is one of the flaws that my team has now. You see, when there are players practicing on court, there are people sitting next to court, and they are not practicing, they are just chatting with each other, or they're just using their smartphones. They're doing anything besides practicing. You see, even though when you're off court, you can still practice the basics. You can make good use of the time. As a captain, I can't really focus on every one of my players. I can only focus like a few when we are doing practice on the court. They should make good use of the time as they can practice the basic. And you see, basic is the root for improvement. If you want to improve your skills, you have to practice and practice and practice the basics. However, they don't practice those things when they're off court. They're just sitting there chatting around with their friends or other players and using their smartphones. But luckily, we still have some good things about our team to talk about. Atmosphere. The team is like a big family together. We don't have much quarrels, we don't have much arguments or conflicts around. And even when we have those, we can solve it really fast. And when it comes to practice and when the players come, you can really see their smiles on their faces. And even though we're not a powerful team, our atmosphere during play is still joyful, it's pleasant. As a leader, if I can control the atmosphere, if I make the atmosphere into a dreadful one, and it will be very boring, and then it feels like I, the captain, forced them to come. That won't be a very joyful, pleasant atmosphere to have, and the whole team cannot be taken up high. There was a competition for male volleyball team in Tonghai University only, in Chinese called Donghai Bei, on October 2019. And I myself led the team to participate in this game. At that time, our players are mostly freshmen. It's their first time to have this kind of formal big game. And to my surprise, the freshman players, they did very good job on that game, even though it's their first time. The freshmen, their expression really surprised me. When we were practicing, I felt they are nervous. They don't really know what to do on the court when playing a game. But during that day, they really shocked me as they know what things to do when at that time. Their expression was excellent, and all of my interviewees agree that during Donghai Bei we had a very impressive expression together as a whole team. We were facing a much more powerful opponent back then, and even though that the opponents are powerful, we still did a very good job defending ourselves. We pulled the scores very close. That's very impressive. As the captain of the volleyball team, I lead the weekly practices. And when I'm leading the practices, I cannot know if there is anything I've done wrong. I can only be told by others to know what I have done. So I ask my interviewees, is there anything problematic they found when I'm leading or as a captain? And one of my interviewees make fun of me. He said that the captain, me, looks like a gangster. Does Liz looks like a gangster? Don't say yes, that's a rhetorical question. Well, while he was joking around, the other interviewees gave me some important feedback. There are certain gaps between our players. We have freshman players, sophomore players, junior players, and senior players. And when they come to practice, they all come into groups. The freshman groups, the sophomore groups, the junior groups, and the senior groups. And as a captain, I should really put them together as a unity. My interviewee said that they can still feel there are gaps between them and other different age players. As a captain, I should really bridge this gap together and put the whole players into a unity, put into a team. And of course, there are still good things about my leadership. One interviewee said that she can really tell that I have done homework before taking on the practices. She can really tell I try my best to be the captain when I'm leading the whole team together when practicing. The third part of this report is about the present and future situation of the volleyball team. This year we have a lot of freshmen join in the volleyball team at the number of 16 freshmen join in the volleyball team. And as a freshman, they sure have a lot to learn. Well, it's their first time to touch this kind of sports, and we, the upperclassmates, have a lot to teach them. 5 months have passed. We can still find there are a lot of things actually, they lack. So I asked my interviewees, what kinds of things do they think our player lack? And there are mainly 3 things our players lack, including skills, spirits, and experiences. Skills can be built up, but nobody likes boring practicing. But that's how skills work. If you want to gain skill, you have to practice and practice and practice. And spirits is about individual. One can have high spirits while the other can have very, very low spirits. That's something for me to help them out. And experiences. For only 5 months, they have only 2 or 1 game. It's very less for them to have. And to solve this kind of problem, I should have more game with other departments to make my players be more experienced. And finally, my interviewee said what they hope the volleyball team will become in the future is a team that has much more experienced, higher spirits, and more skills, but still have the same atmosphere as now. And I think they're right. The team now is still on its way to be a stronger one, but about the atmosphere part, we did a good job bringing up the atmosphere. It's very joyful and pleasant. About the playing part, we got a lot of improvement to do with our players. I have been in a volleyball team for only a year and a half, and during my first year, I was simply just a player in the team. Back then, I had no idea I would become the captain. But as a captain now, I will try and do my best to make our team become a better one in the future. To quote one of my interviewees, the volleyball team now is like a big family, and families are bound together. This is the end of this report. Thank you for watching.